Have you ever experienced tenderness or soreness in your scalp and not quite know what caused it? It could be a sign of alopecia. Alopecia is a condition that causes hair loss when the scalp or the hair follicles become inflamed and weakened. There are different types of alopecia, but generally they all lead to thinning edges, bald patches, or overall shedding. If you think you have alopecia, the first thing you should do is contact your doctor or your dermatologist for treatment options. But the second thing you need to do is use hair products that actually take care of the scalp, such as Refresh and Grow by Love It Skin and Hair. As a 25-year cosmetologist, I formulated this lightweight leave-in mist with vitamin B3, B5, green tea extract, and other ingredients that actually soothe irritation. They refresh the scalp and promote a healthy scalp environment so that you can grow your hair thicker and longer. Take the first step in your scalp health. Check out loveitskinandhair.com.
Big time fan, ready to level up your energy? Let's talk W Energy Drinks, the brand that's all about being better. Born from one guy's issue with the major big energy drinks, low quality ingredients, and weak flavors, W's taking on big energy with clean, high quality drinks that taste unreal. W's got no sugars, no artificial flavors, no dyes, and 0 calories. It's jitter-free, crash-free, and packed with over 15 unique custom-made flavors that thousands of people are loving every single month. From humble beginnings to taking on the giants, W's all about giving you clean, high-quality energy that tastes incredible. So whether you're grinding at work, hitting the gym, or just need a boost to your day, grab energy drink from W. Be better, feel better. Let's get it. And as a special offer to our big-time listeners, W is offering you 10% off your order when you use the code BIGTIME during your checkout. That's BIGTIME, BIGTYME, to get your 10% off at W.GG.
Got a story I need to tell about the world and how it's world. From police brutality to climate change, we gotta talk, no fan for shame. Relationships can be so tough, but we need to talk, not just to love, about trust, love, and where it stands. In our hearts, let's break that chain. Let's talk about it, let's not hide. The truth is what makes us thrive. From politics to private fears, we need to hear each other's ears.
All right, y'all. Welcome to a special episode of I Have Something to Say podcast. Today, my co-host is out for the evening, but I do have a special guest with me. G Money is in the building.
What's up? Glad to be here.
All right, y'all. Without further ado, we're going to get into these messy old politics. So, the Justice Department asked 2 judges in the Southern District of New York to authorize the release of the grand jury material for the prosecutions of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Sir, how do you feel about that?
I personally think it's good to get this out. If this would have happened earlier in the term, I think it wouldn't have made a difference.
Right.
Because I think there's nothing this man can do to upset his people, his base.
Oh, God.
I think his base, they're going to find a way to make excuses of everything he does to justify everything he does.
Blind
so
face.
So when they find out he's a pedophile, which most people already know that, and that's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing, because if you have enough sense to hide all this stuff going on,
right,
then people go put 2 and 2 together and know you're a pedophile, and they still following him. If you really just need something to be verified, then you're just basically wasting time,
right,
for it to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't think it'll make a difference. I really don't think it'll make a difference because, like I've said this many times before, I don't get this man no more than 4 months left to live anyway.
Right.
I think he's dying anyway.
Yeah.
So it don't even make a difference.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I mean, see, he already told on himself by saying he not Jeffrey Friend, or the reason why they fell out is because he stole something
Stole a girl
from him, which just so happened to be an underage girl. Like, how in the world can you say things with such conviction? And it in the baseline is it was a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
But it didn't lose him many people.
No.
They still support. Now I can say lose him any. He lost some, but he still kept the real crazy.
Right. No, the ones that agree with his level of thinking
Yeah.
are the ones that are still gonna cling on for dear life. Now, he's gonna do something that's gonna lose just about everybody that voted for
Die.
him. Yeah.
That's what it. He gonna die.
Yeah. And I feel like at some point he's going down a road he feels like he's brave enough to travel down.
Okay.
And to be quite honest with you, if he is indeed fearless in whatever regard he sees himself as, I see him being scared in his last moments if that is the case. Only because he knows that he's going to go down before he's able to do whatever he set out to do.
Right.
So with that in mind, we have to ask ourselves certain questions like, what is really the motive if you are indeed dying? Because if you plan on serving this third term, Steve, and you don't, even though he don't want it, he said he don't want it, but he has lied so many times, he could be lying about that too.
He's a puppet.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's a puppet. Now he's in my opinion, he's a piece of shit, but he's still a puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. He might believe all the things he's saying, but he's not thinking it.
Right.
Other people are thinking
No,
it for
yeah,
him,
yes, sir.
And he's
Yes,
doing
sir.
it.
Yes, sir.
But I don't think the MAGA crowd has the following without him. I think
Yeah,
when he
true.
goes,
Yeah,
MAGA goes.
that's true.
J.D. Vance does not have the following he does.
Oh, no.
Stephen Miller does not have the following he does.
No.
All these crazy people that's agreeing with him and doing what he's asking do not have the following.
Right.
So when he goes, that whole structure is going to fall apart.
That's true.
So it's just a waiting game at this point.
Yeah, no, it is. And you know something? It's kind of weird how we have come into an age where we can let somebody do all of this stuff right in front of us, and we don't at least be a tad salty. To the point where we can forget everything we got going on and just take a week. Go out to D.C. It don't matter if we drive out there, we stuck in traffic, we take a train, it don't matter. We need to surround the White House in a way where they don't have a way to counter that.
I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, why I think that's not happening.
Oh, I know it's not, but it's good to
No,
hear.
I'm gonna tell you why I think we're not doing it, and it's mainly because I like to say, in my opinion, before I say something, because
Right.
this is a platform, and
Yes,
I don't
sir.
want people
Yep.
to, but in my opinion, the reason why that's not happening, and good or bad, black folks have washed our hands of it. We feel like we
That's true.
warned y'all.
That's true.
We told y'all
We
this
told
stuff was
y'all.
gonna happen.
Yes.
We warned y'all.
Yeah.
Don't come mad at us. Don't come looking for us to help you now.
Now,
after we told
after we
y'all
warned y'all.
everything's going to happen. Everything we said, even the woman running against him in the presidency, kind of broke down everything that was going to happen, and
Yep.
everything she said was going to happen has happened. He's
happened.
taking away y'all rights, and y'all he's taking away most of y'all jobs.
Yep.
He's taking money out
Healthcare.
y'all pockets. Healthcare.
God,
he
man.
throw y'all a bone, tell y'all he gonna scare y'all $2,000.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
Nah, it ain't.
But y'all want us to go in this fight with y'all.
Right.
We told y'all.
We warned
don't vote
y'all, man.
Don't vote him in.
Right.
We warned you. Y'all got it. Hey, it's almost like the black community, and I hate to say it, but I think it's true. The black community just give them one of these. Hey, that's on you.
For real though. And
Because we know we know it's short. We know.
right. And weirdly enough, we can justify washing our hands of it.
We live the life. I think the problem is the life that some of these people are living today It's the same life we've been living for all these years.
All these years.
So I personally think a lot of these people out here that are struggling are new to the struggle.
Right.
We are so used to the struggle.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Right.
We don't really see. I don't like Trump. I don't like any of his policies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him personally. I don't like him. But I cannot sit here and say my life is worse now than it was 4 years ago.
Right.
It's the same.
It's the
it
same.
really hasn't changed because what he does is not affecting me as much as is affecting the people that voted for him.
That lean on his policies. Yeah. No, and that's a very great way to look at it, because we are in a space now as a community where if we don't do it for ourselves, ain't nobody gonna do it.
Of course not. Why would they?
So and we damn sure not gonna depend on the government to give us anything. So we really gotta go out here and do it not only for ourselves but for each other.
And please stop thinking y'all getting that $2,000 because y'all not.
Yeah, they say mid 2026.
Yeah,
I'm not buying that shit.
Back, and he'll be dead by then. Please stop thinking y'all getting that money.
Hey, listen. Even if he is, like, I mean, come on. Let's be real. Y'all waiting on that 2,000, ain't it?
Yeah.
I seen somebody say that theirs hit already. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
I don't believe that either.
If they crunch the numbers in order to give everybody $2,000, it'll be more than the money they quote unquote made from this tariff. And not only that, it would require them to. They have already promised money to other things.
Right.
So there's no way you can get that money.
Right.
He's just
right.
Trump has a habit of doing this with this hand while he fucking
doing right
with this hand.
Yeah, with that other hand.
Y'all sitting there looking at him. Ooh, he could give us $2,000. That's why some of these people voted for him last year, because they remember he is the only president that's ever handed out some sort of check, because he did his administration did hand out some money in his first term.
They did.
He's the only president when money was handed out to demand that his name be on the check.
Yeah, I remember that.
His name be
he
on the
wanted
check.
He wanted his credit.
He want people to think he gave that money.
So now we hear that he's shelling out $2,000 to everybody.
Yeah.
And now we back down the rabbit hole. Now we waiting for him to give us the same money he was giving us back in the pandemic era.
And don't get me wrong, if he give it, I'll take it.
We all gonna take it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem taking it.
But my thing is this: a lot of us are gonna spend that money because we ain't never had that money. So, and we're not gonna invest it in nothing so we can further the objective. We're all gonna spend that money on stuff. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, 1,000 of that I'm putting towards whatever I'm investing in. Period. There's nothing. No, and then I'll probably split the 500. I'll save the 500, and I'll put 500 away for my kids.
Yeah,
so they can go to college or some shit.
If it was to ever come, I need to get a new Xbox. That's pretty much it. I don't already know that, so I know that's not gonna happen.
But I know
look, if it does,
shit.
I need to get a new Xbox. I need to get some camera equipment.
Yeah,
so if it comes, which I know it's not,
for sure.
So I'm not gonna sit there and lie to myself that it's coming. But if
it comes, right, it's already spent. That's for sure.
It's our money. It's money that he just took away from us anyway. He ain't taking money from me.
Well, he's taking money from the people that are paying the taxes that fund all of the stuff that he wants to do with the money that he think he got, but he really don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like somebody giving you $20 to go to the store and buy something for them, and you buy something for them and yourself, and then say whatever.
Yeah.
Like, why keep the change if we know how much we sending you to the store for? That's why we gave you the $20, because it's probably gonna come in between $18 and $19. We want our change back.
Yeah.
But you like, oh, well, I'll get them this, and I'll get some on the side. We know how I change. We know how money work, man. Come on. No, that's crazy. No, but I mean, taxpayer money is not looked at with enough light to be like, well, what if we just stop paying? Because I'm trying to figure out what would it take for a collective to stop paying.
That's gonna never happen, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, I know that too.
If we stop paying, we're going to jail.
Yeah, but everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Yeah, because the whole government is going to. I mean, the government doesn't make money. You know what
No,
I'm saying?
yeah, they don't.
It's
They spend it.
It's well, they definitely spend it.
They spend it.
But it's our money that we fund the government.
Yeah.
So just like Mom said, it's our money.
Right.
So if he gives us $2,000, he's giving us our $2,000
Back. Yeah.
If we all stop paying taxes and whatever, and we pay taxes every day. We pay taxes on shit that we own.
Yeah.
I never understand. You never
Exactly
truly own anything. If you own a house, you paid off your house, you still got to pay taxes
on it.
So you really don't own it, and the government isn't gonna take that anymore.
Exactly.
If we all stop paying, they're gonna put a lot of people in jail.
Yeah.
I just think so.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, I get that, but then it's like, okay, well, if everybody in the country do it, even though we know that's not gonna happen, but just imagine that for a second. If everybody within a 50-state radius just decide, you know what? Nope. Just imagine what that does to the government.
Shut it down.
Because how they going to fund what they want to do? They're going to have to give us what we want after that because we ain't paying. But that's hypothetical.
Yeah.
That's hypothetical. In a very small world, a lot of big things can happen, but that's not one of them.
If you look at it in that aspect, if everybody stopped and then we rely on
each other.
We rely on each other.
Each other.
And don't expect government handouts. So
right.
Don't expect anything that the government pays for, and we consider we have to pay that on our own.
Right.
And that'll happen.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. It would be interesting.
It would.
I'm not condoning it because.
Yeah. No,
I don't want the revolution to start us broke.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because that's how it's gonna start. It's gonna start us trying to figure out how we gonna make money.
Yeah.
With the resources, when the resources is what create the money. So if we don't have those resources, if we're not learning or teaching each other how to properly do all of this stuff so we can barter with it, then we'll never know the true value of the barter system.
Yeah.
So we really got to educate people on how this barter system works, bro.
There used to be a time when it made sense. It used to be a time when I pay X amount of dollars into the government and they feed homeless people. They feed hungry people.
Yeah.
They teach kids in early development, early childhood.
Right.
They fund different things that we need them to fund. Now I pay money in the government. They fund jails. I pay money in the government.
Third world countries.
Right.
I
don't understand how I'm paying taxes every month, every day, every second, and I'm driving out of my driveway, and there's driving down the street, and there's a pothole. It's like stuff like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. And the weird part is, you're sending billions
to other countries. Yeah.
What do they got on you to the point where you got to send them that much?
Yeah,
that's scary. Because that could be used for the country. Do you know?
Fund our healthcare system, but you can fund. Argentina or something like that. Yeah.
And you can fund military operations for Venezuela. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, make it make sense. If our money is going somewhere that don't benefit us, even though wherever you sending that to, they might have 10 times more problems than we could ever have.
True.
At the end of the day, how is it that you don't have any type of outlet for the country you are currently in? So you're willing to take from the people you govern to give to the people that don't have something to govern them? Come on. Now, I get it. But it's like, okay, what about us? You know what I'm saying? What about us? We hear all the time. Argentinians don't even come here all the time. They come here if they just want a better life for themselves, which is a lot of countries, really. Once they get a taste of American whatever the nostalgia may be, whatever the whatever the aura may be around coming to America, is why they'll come to America. But besides that, they're gonna stay where they at.
I'm curious to understand why Argentina though.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why over there?
Yeah.
Why
I mean,
over there?
I mean, we all know it's a South American country, but it's a Spanish speaking country. So
Right.
it's a lot of it has a lot of the people that he don't like. So why is he funding it? Just like, he's allowing refugees from South Africa to come.
Right.
They're not black.
But
they
they're
gotta
not,
be the white
right.
refugees from South Africa. Why did he pick Argentina? A lot of people think it's because of their leader. He's a dictator, and Trump loves
Dictatorship.
dictators.
Yeah.
So it might have something to do with that. But I always wondered why Argentina. But
But listen.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia, Argentina. Listen, Korea.
China, yeah,
He is making deals with these people.
I believe so.
And I don't know what the deal is, but all he gotta do is renege and or die, and whoever is behind him decides that they're not gonna do it. What does that say for the state of America?
We're in trouble. But we knew that in November last year. We knew that a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew this a year ago.
So
And that's again why we just sitting back like, hey, we told y'all.
yeah, we did. So Lindsey Halligan, the unlawfully appointed interim U.S. Attorney of the Eastern District of Virginia. Why is she even, if you were unlawfully appointed, yet you managed to get a full indictment on two people that Trump just don't like? Like, there's no real...
Yeah.
But it's because they don't like him and they aren't willing to stand with the people who ain't going for that. James Comey. That was out of nowhere. Is it because you don't like him?
In all honesty, it really wasn't out of nowhere. He told us before he won.
Yeah, he knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, he knew he was gonna do it.
He knew it was gonna happen, but it's like, but I know he prepared himself for it because he knew it was gonna be some BS.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and then Assistant Attorney General Letitia James, like, okay, like what? So now we're in a place where our president can be emotional and just go, you know what? I don't like you, or you. You're fired. And then, on top of that, now that you don't have a job, I am going to go ahead and ask the DOJ to open a full investigation on all of y'all.
And they're getting them with mortgage fraud. It's funny to me that he's hitting all these people up with the same charge. Like Letitia James and both James. Well, James Comey got more than one, but they all got dismissed. But Letitia James and Eric Swalwell. And there was the lady, I can't remember her name, but she was the head of the Library of Congress or something.
Yeah.
They hitting everybody with mortgage fraud. It's almost like we got to find something to get these people in jail.
In jail for.
So we're going to get everybody with this.
We got to find something to stick so we can justify charging them.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Just because you don't like them, and they said, you know what? You've gone too far.
But no one has said that yet. No one of
not verbally, no.
No one on his side has said, this is too much. And they're thinking it, but they're scared to say it.
Because they're not going to openly say it. They're just going. But they are going to move in a direction to where that's how it looks. Because they're not going to say it. They're afraid to say it because the minute they say it, Trump going to hear it and they out the door.
Yeah.
So they got to move in a direction where everybody else moving without them being singled out.
But now, because people are getting backbones, and like I said, I think people are getting backbones because people are realizing that he's not going to be around much longer.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of them.
Right, and you still have a legacy to uphold.
Yeah.
You can't, when it's all said and done, Trump's going to be Trump.
Oh, yeah,
regardless. When he gone or not, he's going to be Trump.
He's going to be here.
But you're going to have to answer for the stuff you did when you stood behind him. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a perfect example. But I think she took the coward way out.
Yeah.
She resigned.
She resigned in January.
Yeah, she resigned.
Yeah, she don't want to. But the funny part is she can resign, but I still think they're gonna stick something on her, and is she not gonna see it coming? She waited too late.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, think about it. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been,
and she know it's coming.
She knows it's coming, but she has been a huge supporter of
Yes.
Trump. One of the biggest voices Trump ever had. Always
Yes.
say she disagreed with him one time, and even the thing was so funny. Even during the disagreements, she did her best never to blame him. She
right.
blamed the party, but she
Right.
never blamed him.
Yeah,
she
directly.
never spoke against him.
Right.
He still took it
As it was against him.
Started calling crazy, and then
Right.
started calling Marjorie Traitor Green,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But since that happened, she said
She
she
leaned
has
in.
had more death threats
Mm-hmm.
now
Than when she
ever
was
had. When
right.
she-
When she was with Trump.
Yeah, when everybody thought that the Democrats or whatever were going after her,
Uh-huh.
they might have hated her.
Right.
But
But
they
they would never threaten
life.
her. Yeah.
They're her own quote unquote people are threatening her life, and she's scared.
And you know what? That either may or may not be her karma. Because, I mean, come on.
I don't wish death on anybody.
Nobody.
But
if you are, if this is what you're deciding to do, once you realize that the man that you have supported for so long is indeed a POS,
yeah,
then you really gotta, you gotta take that for how, you gotta take that how it come. You dug your grave. Now you
Right.
got to figure out how deep you gonna lay. You got to figure out how long you gonna lay in it
and she
before
decided
they
she
start
was
throwing the
laying
dirt
herself
in.
into January, which
Man, that's
which is
crazy.
gonna be funny because
It is.
what's gonna happen is, she's Georgia. That's a Georgia
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
She ended up leaving, and I don't know how the situation go. Are they gonna have a special election
Mhm.
to fill her spot,
Mhm.
or is just somebody gonna appoint somebody?
Right. Right.
They could lose that seat.
They could lose that
They
seat.
could lose that seat, and maybe that's why she's doing it. Maybe she's doing it so they lose the seat.
Lose the seat.
right before the midterms.
I just hope that she realized that Trump might fill that seat before she realized that it's gonna stay gone.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. I never thought about that. I need to check on to see who.
Cause now, side note about the Department of Education.
You mean Linda McMahon? How this?
Man, listen. I am a huge wrestling fan. I swear I am. But let me tell y'all something. As much as I love the WWE or TKO or whoever owned them, I hope y'all realize that y'all could very well be in the line of fire. Not to mention, Vince has a direct line to the company, even though he technically doesn't own it anymore.
Right.
He has a son-in-law and he has a daughter. And they are keeping their involvement in all of this very quiet. And that's scary.
When you look at the White House and you see
That's scary.
a White House meeting, and you see Triple H standing in the White House meeting, there's at some point you have to realize this is the world we live in.
Yes.
Yeah, this
Like
Triple H
even the
is-
stuff that we enjoy watching as entertainment, in some way, shape, or form, is political.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Everything.
I just looked it up. Marjorie Taylor Greene, if she leaves in January, they will probably have a March special election to fill her seat. So they could lose their seat.
They could very well lose
in
that
March,
seat.
They can lose their seat.
And honestly, if they vote not to fill it,
They're not gonna vote now. They have to fill
they
it.
have to fill
They
it.
go, if they vote to if the special election comes and it's a Democrat,
Yeah.
it'll flip Congress.
Oh, yeah.
The minute
Yeah,
they
yeah,
flip Congress, he's getting impeached.
Yeah, he's out of there.
He's getting impeached.
He's out of
The minute
there.
they flip Congress, he's getting impeached.
Yeah, he's out of there. And you know what? I think that's primarily what her goal
Yeah,
is.
I think that's what she's doing.
That's what her goal is.
So
When she
rather than
resigns, she
vote
wanna
to impeach him.
right.
She's gonna let somebody else
Right,
get
come
there
in, and it's got to be a Democrat to
Yeah.
go ahead and turn that thing around. Okay, well, we'll see how she maneuver around that once she resigns. Oh man! All right, now the mother that got attacked by all them kids in the shot. All right, I'ma just keep this short and sweet. There was this lady I saw on Facebook, and one of the kids' mothers, and she had a lot to say. And the only thing I can disagree with is the fact that she's willing to say that kids are going to be kids. Listen, women have been given a gift to reproduce another version of either themselves, the father of that child, or a mix of the two.
Okay.
At no point should a person that is a parent go, kids gonna be kids, without first realizing that you were once one. So if kids are gonna be kids, then you need to explain how you still remain the person you are to even say that about your child. Because mind you, we're not talking about any child, we're talking about yours, a mini version of you. If you are irritated by their behavior, what does that say about you?
How did they get that behavior?
How did they acquire that? How did they inherit that behavior, rather?
Behavior
Because it's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, let's not justify the bad behavior of a child without first understanding why there's bad behavior in the parent to use as the example.
I'm glad you said that.
Because at what point do we say kids gonna be kids and they don't know what they doing, when history has proven that they are actually smarter now than we were then? And that's due to the exposure of the stuff that they're exposed to. So we gotta be able to understand that even though we were kids in a different time, the approach is still the same. You still have to engage with the child to the point where they can distinguish reality from imagination. And inside of that, of course, you're gonna be an adulting. You're gonna have stuff going on personally that don't even involve the child. That was probably long before the child even got there.
Right.
It really all depends. But once the child is born, the idea of having an individuality outside of parenthood, that doesn't exist. You can still find individuality inside parenthood. It's not difficult, but if you are not of sound mind and spirit, you will never be able to balance out being a parent while learning how to still be the version of yourself that could help you better in the hood of parenting. We gotta figure out this balance where we can address the inner child in ourselves so we can better address the children we created.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
In your personal opinion, because you are a father,
Yep.
do you feel that the parents, for that particular incident we're talking about,
Yep.
should be held accountable for what happened?
Absolutely, because why are they outside doing that if the parents weren't authorizing it? Because, again, as you said, it's a learned behavior.
Right.
Why is there a group of children heckling a mother with children?
Right. And then physically attacking this mother.
Now, let's take this even further. What are the parents of these children doing when they're in the house? Are they congregating the way we saw them on camera? Because that's kind of how that works. Right. If the child is outside if the child is inside looking out, and they see their mama, auntie, whoever, as an adult, hanging around outside on the block with other adults who got kids, who just so happen to be their neighbors.
Right.
What do you think the child is going to want to do? They're going to want to go outside, congregate with their neighbors who just so happen to be children. And then okay, so to go even further to this woman's page, do you know what her bio said? And it was short and sweet. But this is the perfect reason why we can't allow ourselves to be the child we actually did not get rewarded for. Rather,
What do you mean? Hold on.
because a lot of us as kids without social media, remember, we got disciplined in a way that people look down on now. The whippings, getting the switch out the
Off the tree.
all of that.
Yeah.
They don't know none of that. And the fact that they don't know it, we'll tell them about it and they'll be like, yo, that's extreme. No, it's not. Because that was how it was dealt. That's how the punishment was dealt back then. Because they didn't have no example to do it any other way. There was nothing around them aside from what they were taught. Like, look, this is how you discipline them. Boom, boom, boom. So let's look at that. How were you disciplined as a kid? Were you ever? And how does that translate when you discipline your child? Do you mirror how it was for you because that's all you've experienced? Or as you got older and you became an adult and then became a parent, a lot of that stuff didn't translate in the way it was supposed to translate. So you got to remember, if you were once a child and you are in a position now where you could very well do better, and you not, and you know why, but because it take so much work, you just take it how it come.
Okay.
What does that say about your approach to how you handle your children? Because when they get older, they might have the same idea in mind. I just want to get by.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I just want to, I just want to get here. I just want to get there. And maybe I could deal with it in the future. No. Because what that does is now you have created a system where your child has to operate under how you have approached them. So if you approaching them with the intent to punish them for just being kids, then they're going to go outside and see that as a means to communicate with people. Let them know first of all, a crash out is somebody who did not get the guidance at home because the parent didn't get guidance at home themselves. So what they do is they are so mad at really they didn't get the love that they deserve because kids need it. They need it. And they need it in a way that helps them better cope with how the world works. And the world is strange. So if we not telling them or explaining to them how strange the world is and how much we don't know about it, we as a people can turn this into a village, one family at a time. But see, the disconnect is real. So, like, the fact that this has turned into a means of who should be blamed, I don't think anybody should be blamed. Right. But we do have to take a deeper look into how things are structured in that area. We got to. Because where is the discipline at? There isn't any. So we have to find out where the discipline at in that parent. What do they consider discipline?
What do you consider respect? I mean, I was
that too
growing up to respect my elders.
Yeah, but see,
even at 50 years old now, 53 years old now, as an adult, I still respect. If you're a little bit older than me, it's
still sir.
It's still
sir,
ma'am.
All that
respect.
Yeah.
Where is the respect these kids had to literally beat up the gang beat up pregnant woman with some sort of special needs. It's
right.
Just, to me, it's the
she got
lack
sickle
of
cell.
respect. Yeah, it's the lack of respect, and I can't believe. And then based on what you said, you can't even blame. Like, you want to blame their upbringing,
right?
But they were supposedly, based on the way the scale is run, they were raised by people that were raised by the people that were raised by good people. So
Yeah.
so it's not going down the ladder. Like my parents instilled this into me.
Right.
I instilled this into my kids.
Right.
And my kids would instill this into their kids. Somewhere down the line, that got cut off.
Yeah, the translation turned into something different.
Yeah, it got cut off. And that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Who do we blame for this?
Right. Because pointing a finger doesn't solve the problem.
Nah.
So we just got to look into the type of resources that people are getting to the point where they are frustrated at the state of their well-being. Like, are you giving these people enough resources to say that they are thriving? Or are you just giving them enough to where they can live day to day?
They can get through.
And that's stressful, though.
Yeah.
So, and then not to mention, we got to remember that, like you said, there was a point in time where that was taught and then it disappeared. So I'm trying to figure out where during that point in time was it like, okay, even if it was taught, did they adhere to that?
Right.
Were they even listening? Because, I mean, let's be honest. A lot of us that are newly found parents within the last 10, 15 years still have social media on the back end. So, I mean, if we being honest, a lot of us tend to raise our kids with social media in mind and not with respect in mind. If you have to grab your phone and figure out what you got to do as a parent without doing any more research on it, then you're always going to figure out that you may be doing the shit the wrong way. And not to mention, a lot of us that are new parents, we get stressed out because there's so much going on around us, on this phone, at this job. We get overwhelmed, and there is not a soul telling us how to cope.
Because as you being a new parent, the person you look to help you, which is your parent, they did not have the deal with the stuff that you have
that we are dealing with
now as
right.
a new parent.
Exactly.
Like when you were growing up, your parents didn't have to deal with the internet. Your parents didn't have to deal with social media.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
They didn't have to deal with you and the internet. You and social media.
Right.
So they don't have the knowledge to say, all right, that's enough time on Snapchat.
For real.
They don't know what that's like.
The internet has shaped the way we learn things, and the knowledge itself has been weaponized to make it easier to digest if it doesn't benefit us collectively. They know where to place it, how to say it, where to put it, to the point where we just drift further and further away from what we should be coming together on. And it's smack dab in front of our face too. And we just like, you know what? Old boy around the corner, we gotta get him. That's crazy work. Crazy work. Well, we're going to take a quick break and pause for the calls. When we come back, I am going to get into this story about that man and his promise he has made. We'll be right back.
Got a story I need to tell about the world and how it's well from police brutality.
Big time fan, ready to level up your energy? Let's talk W Energy Drinks, the brand that's all about being better. Born from one guy's issue with the major big energy drinks, low quality ingredients, and weak flavors, W's taking on big energy with clean, high quality drinks that taste unreal. W's got no sugars, no artificial flavors, no dyes, and 0 calories. It's jitter-free, crash-free, and packed with over 15 unique custom-made flavors that thousands of people are loving every single month. From humble beginnings to taking on the giants, W's all about giving you clean, high-quality energy that tastes incredible. So whether you're grinding at work, hitting the gym, or just need a boost to your day, grab energy drink from Dubby. Be better, feel better. Let's get it. And as a special offer to our big time listeners, Dubby is offering you 10% off your order when you use the code BIGTIME during your checkout. That's Big Time, BIGTYME, to get your 10% off at Dubby.gg.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to I've Got Something to Say podcast with the homie G Money.
What up?
All right, so I got a story for y'all. I know this guy very well, and he's a work in progress, but at the end of the day, I can empathize with him in terms of his situation and what he managed to gain and lose from it. A lot of us gain things and lose things in relationships due to the knowledge we gain and lose as we become adults. And a lot of time we don't really understand how trauma works and how trauma bonding works and how you can go through certain situations in life and not really understand how it could happen to you, but life happens to show a lot of people that it's not something that you take lightly. So he met this woman several years ago. He felt that at some point him meeting her was what was supposed to happen at that time. And I mean, me personally, we talk all the time. So I agreed. I mean, he's of sound mind most of the time. But he met her on a dating site. So, I mean, take that as you will. And they hit it off. They got close. They fell out. Things went one way and then another way. Then she ended up pregnant, and he decided to spin the block on her. I guess he figured that he could rekindle. So, with that in mind, he goes on to tell her, like, look, all right, he needed to sit on the idea that he just so happened to spin the block on her while she was pregnant. It was a lot to process. So,
not to cut you off.
Yeah.
Some of your listeners might not know what spin the block means.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry. Spin the block means to just try again with the person that you may feel strongly about. Just, giving yourself the room to give yourself a second chance with whoever this may be. You may have messed it up the first time and you figure, all right, I'm gonna try again. So, he was firm about this woman, whether he wanted to hear the truth about rushing into it or not. I always made sure he understood what he was getting himself into. And as time went on, I would get updates. He would hit me up from time to time. Things are going great. Sent her to the mall. Now, mind you, before he even got to a point where he made it official with her, he was in a very dark place. Such a place, rather, that it landed him homeless. So with that, I think ultimately he just had a motive to do what any man would do when they are at wit's end and they just so happen to get close with a woman, you reach out, you lean in, and he leaned in, to say the least. So the babies, we fast forward, the babies are born, and he decides to have the conversation with her about him just, for some reason, he got the feeling that being a part of this family will better give him an understanding of what his purpose might be. And I agree with him. I mean, there's only so much you can get out of that, even though realistically you have a bloodline of your own to carry on. And sometimes it may not look like legacy created by your hands directly. Maybe it's a manifestation of love and found in a foundation, a solid structure, just to say that doing something important is how you can overcome whatever obstacle you might be facing. Whether it be, getting yourself a new job. Well, in this case, he wanted a family, and he was persistent about making sure that he turns this house into what would potentially be a home. But before I decided to tell him how I felt, he let me know that he wanted to be in the girls' lives for as long as he's able. And I that was very noble of him. But I had to let him know a few things. One, those aren't biologically your children. So it is at the mom's discretion as to how involved you are. And, when some people hear that, you can only do but so much with children that aren't legally or biologically yours, it gives you some people it uneases them a little, only because some of us don't have the discernment to realize that woman could simply say you don't get to see them anymore, and that could very well solidify the end of a relationship you may have built. So I gave him a fair warning. He adhered to the warning, but he was firm about making sure that he turned that house into what he would consider a home for family purposes, whatever. So let's fast forward maybe, I said a couple years. They start arguing and they move in together. They move in together first. Things are okay for the most part. Then they start arguing. And the arguments, they were normal. And then one day he called me in a fit of rage and he was adamant about quitting. And I'm like, sir, okay. One thing us black people don't do is we don't quit. We have always been passionate about us like-minded black folk have the capacity to do great things because we don't quit. We don't give up. We see things through. And I had to remind him of where he came from and who his support system is. And there's really only one person that can calm him down through a state of anger. He wanted to disengage. And sometimes disengaging only makes the situation worse. So he goes back in. I had to get him to call his mama because that's the only person that can calm him down, and I know her very well. So that's the only person I've known to have the capacity to calm him down, really ease him into making the right decision. So one day they get to arguing, and she goes through his phone first. Now, mind you, he told her, and he made sure that he realized his mistake. But he told her that she could go through his phone. Maybe that was a ploy for him to trust her, being that she probably already had, trust issues leading into this. She had 2 kids already, and that didn't go well. And the man she had, the man that is the kid's biological father, really doesn't do anything from what I hear. So at that moment, he felt like he could step in and change a few things. We all feel like because certain things are involved that are above us, that we can change it somehow. To our liking, though, like we can shape it to the way we want it, even though
the way we want it.
Right, even though the situation itself is not ideal under any circumstance. But you can always make something concrete, even if it wasn't made by your hand directly. You can still solidify a relationship with a child, whether you really are their parent or not. Because if you spend enough time with them, you give them enough of the same attention any parent would give them, then in their mind, that's exactly who you are, their parent. So this guy been around long enough. He was like, you know what, I'll take care of the responsibility. He figured that was the noble thing to do, even though he was a raging drunk. He did drink a lot, and I had to tell him to calm down quite a few times, because that drinking definitely leads to an overreaction or a reaction that is not suited for the circumstance in which you are trying to come to an understanding. So there came a time where he decided to he got called out on something, and I called him out on it too. Because he drank a lot, a whole lot, like excessively. And it started to interfere with how he approached being not only a father, but a partner. And certain things that he reacted to really weren't of sound in mind, considering he was inebriated. So a lot of those decisions were really just based on a headspace that he didn't shake going into the situation. A lot of us go through things and we don't realize that there's something in front of us that could really help us figure it out. But sometimes we can be so habitual that we'll oversee what's right and just do how we feel. And our feelings are a liability. They can change in an instant. So with that, emotional regulation is a real thing. You have to point out what that emotion is, how it makes you feel, and whether it benefits the circumstance you may be in. And he was drunk most of the time. So a lot of that processing was just really due to him not understanding what it meant to be a partner to somebody. Mind you, this is the first real relationship this man has ever been in since his father passed away back in 2012. So a lot of the principles of a relationship were lost on him. And with that, he came into the situation not realizing that he has to hone those abilities of acquiring trust and understanding your partner with the intent for them to feel comfortable with who they are as a person for you and you for them. But some of us, of course, we're not going to give the person that we really want everything about us because we don't want to scare them away. So we give them the parts of us that they appeal to. And that goes both ways. But one thing I did realize about his situation is I never heard him talk about them having conversations about what they might disagree about. Is always what they already disagreed about and the fact that they chose to argue instead of solve the problem. And arguments, sometimes if there is, arguments aren't really meant to escalate. But because you have two people who may very well be trauma bonding, very well, that turns into fight or flight for each person. And at that moment, you're no longer partners. Y'all are enemies for a brief moment. And you're fighting to defend who you feel you are as a person to them and vice versa. It's like, okay, well, you did this. Oh, but you did this. But there's no solution being came to. At the end of the day, the real problem that these two had was they could not come to a middle ground about anything. And it got to a point where he found his stuff on the porch in a contractor bag with duffel bag in tow. And in his words, here's what she said to him. She did not feel safe. Now, in my head, I'm like, you have kids, don't you? How is it that you feel unsafe, but you never said that the children were? So then it dawned on me. I'm like, sir, you do realize she projecting, right? Because, you know, projection is you know, when somebody really don't like something about themselves, but because they've been called out on it, they fit to blame the person that called them out on it because they really don't like the fact that they know now. Because that's really what that is. Projection is you confessing to a person that already know that that's who you are. So, in my opinion, now I could be wrong, but that's how I took it. I took it as maybe she's not aware of just how much she's carrying and how you not only being a drunk, but also not understanding how she feels could have her react in that way. And he may not have understood it then, but I think he understands it now.
That's what learning is about.
So, to make a long story short, he is raising 2 out of the 4 kids that she has currently. And he's found purpose in being a father and still willing to learn what it means to be a functioning adult. And I think a lot of us miss the mark when we try to balance out parenthood and being adults. Because just because you're an adult doesn't mean that you are capable of being a parent. And some parts of that story might be, you know, unclear But I think the message here is neither one of them got the proper clarity or the proper understanding to realize that they are two completely different people, and that's okay. It's okay to not be aligned all the time, but as long as you're talking about something that leads back to alignment, then you can disagree about anything as long as you're willing to come to a middle ground as opposed to just fighting about it, because you may both be right. You gotta love each other enough to realize that both of y'all may be in the wrong or in the right, but y'all are together. So it's better to navigate as a group than to navigate individually. Because you might feel neglected because they not trying to work with you. You might get the feeling that your partner might not see you because they might be dealing with something personally and they don't really understand how to approach you about it without it sounding like it's affecting the relationship. Because sometimes we got to talk about things that our partner may do that may rub us the wrong way, just a little. You know, when you dealing with somebody that you haven't really sat down and got to know like that, there's certain things that they might do that might irritate you and you don't understand why. You never got to sit down and really talk to them. Really understand their niches, their irritabilities, their vulnerabilities, what set them off, what make them feel better, all of that. How they were brought up and how that can translate to how we can handle problems in the present. A lot of questions we don't ask the people that we want. And it is because we want what we want and not understand what's needed, which is indeed understanding. We have to understand the person that we wish to be with, because without that understanding, you are simply two strangers trying to figure out why y'all know each other. So we have to be able to realize that, for one, we need each other. There's no, oh, men ain't this, women ain't that. No. We all have personal experiences, and those magnify how we perceive things. And as fate would have it, the disconnect has become so, the margin has become so wide that it's literally like looking at a high school prom where you got the females on this side, the males on this side, and they all staring at each other like, who gonna do what? We're not addressing the real issue. We gotta be able to sit a person down and ask them tough questions. If a person can't answer a tough question, it's because they're still grappling with the answer that question might provide. So we gotta give people grace. We have to give ourselves grace. We have to give them grace. We have to give our neighbors grace. We have to be able to understand that there are people out here that are not like-minded but are simply lost. They could be misguided. And the ones that are misguided, we have to be able to have the terminology to talk to them into being a better version of what they would consider themselves. A lot of us have room for improvement. We all do. We're not perfect. No, not one. But I tell you this much. If seeking perfection is what drives you, then take a second look, because perfection is not the goal. The goal is to be able to fully be without being seen as something less than by anybody. Head high, chin out, chest out. You let it be known. You are worthy. Everybody's worthy of love. Any and everybody. But in order for us to understand that, we have to learn ourselves and what we think love means. And with that interpretation, we have to be able to tell that to somebody in a form where it doesn't make them feel uncomfortable. And even if it does make them feel uncomfortable, then that might be what they needed to hear. The truth is very uncomfortable, which would make the realest and most purest version of love uncomfortable. Because love is God, God is love, and there's truth in it all. So we got to be better towards each other. We got to have a better sense of discernment. We got to stop allowing what the tangibles can do for us, what a person can do for us, more so how we can apply the things that might better serve us just as much as it serves the person we are pursuing. Now, me as a man personally, I feel like the courting of a woman all boils down to how you can approach a woman in her wholeness, not necessarily how she looked, what type of job she got, how many kids she got, because a lot of that is irrelevant given the circumstance. If you want that person, all of that is just what come with it. Now, a lot of us have opinions about how we deal with people that got kids, and you are perfectly entitled to feel how you want to feel. That's okay. But for those of us that want love, that love love, and want to experience love again, I give you this little nugget. In order for you to love others, you have to love yourself, and you have to love yourself in a way that makes other people gravitate to how much you love you. Because they, in turn, might love themselves the same exact way, and they might even love you well enough for you to feel it. So, in this instance, whoever you might be, whether you're just struggling to figure out who might be the right person for you, or if you're just grappling with the idea that love may be a fairy tale and that it's not real, give yourself enough grace to know that God will always love you no matter what you do. So even though we don't like when people do things that go against principality and morality, God don't see them any different than we see ourselves. And if we feel like we are God's gift to the earth, all right. But if that don't translate to you actually doing what that means, then that's just an opinion. It's not a presence. It's not a declaration of being anointed, or just simply being still and being okay with the idea that you as a human being are going to experience things that you have never experienced before. And it's easier to be angry than it is to be mindful. And being mindful takes courage, because you have to understand that there's not a person on this planet that's going to be able to operate the way that you operate. We all may be different in ideology, but we are all the same in spirit. And all of us need that type of love that make us feel like there is nothing else worth keeping than that itself. Everything means nothing. The love you have for your person, the love you have for your kids, the love you have for your career, you will put energy into things that you find dear to you. But in terms of relationships in general and just being able to understand what come with that, what I learned from my homeboy was he didn't give himself enough grace. And he surely didn't give that woman any grace. And that alone gave them reason to create a distance that was quite frankly, there was no way to catch up from the back end all the way to breaking. Is one was going too fast and apparently one wasn't going fast enough. The distance just got so great that it became irreconcilable. So realizing that when things become irreconcilable, that could honestly mean you've tried every avenue. You've outsourced as much as you could, and you just could not close the gap. And that happens, but I want to be clear about how things can be irreconcilable. Just because you disagree with that person or your partner or your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, just because you agree or just because you disagree with what they might be telling you or how they or whatever belief they might have, that does not mean that you get to dismiss them when all they really want from you is the fact that that's how they operate. And maybe you can guide them in a direction where they could parallel how you operate without necessarily mirroring how you operate. See, it's one thing to understand how a person thinks, it's another to actually think like them. So if you are one of those people that can distinguish your own opinion versus how their opinion makes them feel and how they stand on it, whatever they say shouldn't shake you. Anything that if y'all are going to disagree with love in mind. Disagree with the idea that you're not going to always think the same way. You're not going to say things the same way. You're not going to approach things the same way. But as long as y'all can come to an understanding of the fact that y'all are indeed different, but y'all can still navigate that to benefit both of y'all individually and collectively, that love is the center of that. As long as you put God in mind, people will always find a reason to be mad at something. People will always find a reason to be upset at who they dealt with because of how it happened. And we don't pray enough for the vision to see outside our own pain. So what we do is we create an environment where the pain will always be there. And we don't allow ourselves the room to process that pain and turn it into something meaningful. And that affects our children. It affects your child when you go through things and you're not necessarily aware of how it may affect them because it is directly affecting you. So some of us just, us as parents, me included, it takes a village. And what I mean by that is, if there is something that a child does not know that you may not be able to teach them, do not hesitate to call somebody who might know exactly what they need. That's what the village is for. We need each other as much as the children need us. But in order for us to be the parent that we need to be for them, we also have to realize that we are individuals that need each other. And the kids are going to be a direct result of what it looks like when we love thy neighbor. I grew up in an era where I made friends with everybody on my block because we was neighbors. The only reason we got on the internet is to burn CDs for Livewire. We would burn CDs. We would get on AOL Messenger, Yahoo, whatever. But if we ain't on that, I'm outside. All around my neighborhood, just trying to find people to play with. So that translation is basically, if we can come outside, look at our neighbor and go, you know what? Do you need some sugar? Do you need grease? You need laundry detergent? Do you want to wash your clothes? Do you need shoes? Because my kids can't fit these no more. Do you need me to cut your grass, neighbor? I know you ain't got no lawnmower or nothing. The children are watching that. And that'll turn into kid versions. I'll hold your hand so we can cross the street. You want to share my teddy? The trend, they can see it without actually being able to tell you they saw it. They mirror you. They emulate. We gotta understand that the reflection that we see in the mirror is the same one we look at when we see our children. It's just the adult version in the mirror. Who you are looking at is always gonna be you at the end. So if it ain't you that you are looking at in that mirror, or in that child, I don't know. Me personally, that's tough. But with that, that's why community is important. Because there could be somebody that might have experience in that area. It does not hurt to get help. It's okay to not be okay and figure out where you need to get the help from. There's no point in holding on to anger is like holding on to a cactus. Eventually, the shit is going to hurt. And the longer you hold on to that cactus, the more it'll hurt. To the point where once you let it go, there's still remnants of it left. Pines might be sticking out your fingers after you let it go because of the grip you might have had from that anger. It might have crippled you to a point where your hand might have a sort of rigor mortis. It might stiffen up. You know what I'm saying? Because you in a place where you really can't figure out what's going on. And angry is the only thing that can lead you in a direction where you can figure it out. And that in turn leads to destruction. And we don't need to be destroying the community that we need to be building to help better ourselves and other people, let alone our children. So, with that in mind, my homeboy has found himself in a place of solitude. And I'm with him 100%. He's happy. He got his children. He good. He get them when he can. He get them whenever he want to get them. And that's very important. Because despite the situation itself, he has molded himself into the very thing that those kids may or may not have been able to have been given had he not chosen to step to the plate. And a lot of men don't get to experience a love where it has to be bigger than them. A lot of us have never seen love bigger than ourselves. So keep in mind that loving yourself is important. Loving the person you love is important. And if that person may or may not have kids, or in this case has kids, you have to love them just as importantly as you love yourself and the person that had them. And that's only if you're willing to give them the love that they need. We all need a certain type of love. And all of us are capable of giving it. With that in mind, love yourself, love others, and love who love you, because love is real, and so is God. Y'all gotta hear me when I say that. He is a merciful one too, because we are out here struggling. Just look up. Just look up. All of this nonsense with Trump finna be over with. All of this nonsense about, getting only 65% of SNAP, and that all of these things that are considered distractions to the American people, all of this stuff, love will outshine all of it once we realize who the enemy really is. And it's not each other. So, without further ado, that is the end of this episode. I would like to thank G Money here and the Big Time Radio and Podcast Network for having this be a manifestation of greatness. Thank you for tuning in. It has been a pleasure.
Before we leave,
yes, sir.
I want to thank Angie for letting me sit in today.
Yes, ma'am.
And
hey, mama.
I also want to fulfill her requests.
Oh yeah. Let's get to that.
So
yeah,
Angie wanted to make sure her presence was still felt,
and it always
episode.
is. Yes, sir.
So she sent me something that she wanted me to make sure I posted for y'all.
It's pretty funny too.
So here y'all go.
Pretty funny.
This is a message from Angie to you all.
Yep. It says here, remember to set your bathroom scale back 15 pounds at 1 a.m. Wednesday night for Thanksgiving. Hey, for everybody that is participating in Thanksgiving this year, that's serious right there. Because a lot of us will eat until the time of, and then we ain't got room for the rest of it. Listen, I'm not going to eat. Once I get back home from work Tuesday evening, I ain't touching nothing.
You're not eating from Tuesday until Thursday.
Yeah, because I eat.
Yeah, we all eat.
Yeah, no, but
and you cook.
All jokes aside, I'm gonna be cooking. Yeah. So a lot during that time, I'm probably not gonna eat nothing. I'll probably just focus on cooking till I'm finished, and I'm only in charge of sides, so I ain't got that much cooking to be doing. But this Thanksgiving is gonna be great. I hope everybody got all their turkeys, all the food they need for Thanksgiving. I hope everybody got all the food they need in general for the week. I hope everybody is at least finding some peace in all of this, even with all of the garbage that's going on. Just keep in mind that peace is always acquired through patience. So just be patient. We got this, y'all. And as always, peace.